No is a complete sentence. How many times have you heard that? We've seen that posted as a meme. I've posted it myself on Instagram many years ago. And there is a time and a place to simply say no. But to me, it sounds kind of like a command to a dog. So I want to talk today about how to say no. That's not just saying no, but not over explaining yourself. So this is really about healthy boundaries and not needing to explain or justify yourself or make excuses for why you can't do something or you are choosing not to do something. So I want to share three phrases that are great alternatives to no that don't over explain and kind of how you can use them. One of them is no, thank you, firm and kind. I'm not available, or that doesn't work for me. And can be used somewhat interchangeably. Well, let's talk about different circumstances and why you would use them. And yes, there is a time to explain. There are times where it's absolutely appropriate to explain why you can't do something. But what a lot of us tend to do when we say no, we want to, whether it's to an invitation, not being available to help with something, or saying we really don't want to do like some volunteer work, but we make up all kinds of excuses and reasons. So first of all, whether the reasons are real or truly excuses, when you're giving all these reasons why you can't do something, it's pretty much saying, well, I would do it if I didn't have these reasons. And you're actually giving this person a problem to solve. So say you're invited to some type of event that for whatever reason, you don't want to go to. If you really want to go to this event, you say, I really want to make it and I can't get a babysitter for my child. I've tried and tried and tried. Maybe, then, but you truly want to come, that's great. Maybe you're just not gonna be able to make it. Maybe they'll say, oh my gosh, my daughter loves to babysit. I wish you had said something sooner. The problem is solved. Okay, so, but don't give them a problem to solve if you don't really want the problem solved. So that's one of many reasons why we don't want to over explain or give too many reasons. Um, if somebody asks you out on a date, you simply say, oh, I'd love to, but I have this, that, and the other thing. Okay, well, are you free the next week? Or what if I came with you to those things? Whatever. Again, sometimes we just have to, like, no, we don't want to do this thing, but we want to say it kindly. So let's talk about no, thank you. That is a very powerful statement that is underused. You can say no, thank you to an invitation of any kind, like a date. No, thank you. Most people should get that. Some people just don't. I'll tell you a funny story about that. Um, but no thank you can be said to the invitation of any sort, to the offer of dessert. No thank you. You don't need to say, oh, I want to, but I really shouldn't, or oh, I'm on this new plan. No thank you. That should suffice. Or the second glass of wine. No thank you is powerful. I feel like I have a hair on my face. It's polite, and you're not over explaining yourself or giving people more information than they want. I will say this time I used to I basically worked full time as a server, bartender, and cocktail waitress while I was building this business full time. And one evening, Friday nights, I always worked as a cocktail waitress, and this guy that was regular at the bar and a really nice, a solid person, but not anybody that I would consider romantically on any level, at any time, in any reality. No. And he asked me if I would like to, he suggested something. I feel like it was go for a hike with him. And I didn't want to do anything with him. Again, not a bit, And I just said, no, thank you. And then he was like, well, well, I suggested a hike because I thought you liked doing outdoorsy things, and I heard you talking about that. I mean, I'm not really a movie guy, but I guess we could go to the movies. And I said, no, thank you. And this guy just didn't understand that I didn't want to go out with him. And he started suggesting some other things. I would, so I was being firm and kind. He wasn't getting it. What I did when he kept persisting, I said, I have a boyfriend. I actually didn't at the time. And now I would not even make an excuse like that. I would say, I'm trying to be polite about this. I'm not interested in doing something with you. I'm not interested in getting together socially. So that's what I would say now. I would be firm and kind, but in this case, I tried and then I kind of backtracked and made up some excuse. Um, because honestly, if you say, even if you give that as a reason, they could be checking back with you and saying, hey, you still have that boyfriend? You want to go for the hike now? See, it pays to be firm and kind. Um, but again, no thank you to the dessert, the second glass of wine, whatever. And if somebody really persists, I mean, that's really not okay. Like if they're persisting with the alcohol, saying, "Oh, come on, be fun, loosen up, whatever." Like, no, that's actually not okay. And even persisting with dessert, again, I said no. Um, so I really like to keep it super simple. No, thank you. Okay, the other one, I'm not available. So that can absolutely make sense for any type of request or invitation. I'm not available. You don't need to say why you're not available. You can, but now sometimes with an employer, maybe you need to say, I'm not available for that meeting because I'm doing this. But again, you don't need to give a big song and dance because sometimes then you're making excuses that are giving them a problem to solve. Other times you can use, I'm not available. And I have used this one. I'm not available for this conversation. And that was when somebody was trying to draw me into conversation that we had had many times before. And it was something that just wasn't being resolved. It was a conversation. It was going to be the same thing. And I just said, I'm not available for this conversation. This is a conversation you could have with these type of people. You can't have this conversation, and I forget, I gave some suggestions, but I'm not available for this conversation. So that is absolutely setting a clear boundary. You're not going to talk about this with this person because and you can say, you could use that at the holidays with the relative that brings up the same crap that you don't want to talk about or goes down, or it could just be like, look, we've taught, another way would just be, I'm not having this conversation with you because we know where this leads. Um, and then that doesn't work for me. That's really powerful. I heard that one from, I think her name is Laura Catella. I can't really take credit for that one. I mean, I obviously know thank you as a phrase, but I'm saying I heard that specifically from a woman that I follow on Instagram. Laura, I think her last name is Catella. I would need to double check. I always like to give credit where credit is due. I heard her say that. It's like, wow, that is powerful. So that doesn't work for me. Um, you know, that doesn't work. That can just be an implied, like my schedule, I'm not available. But it can also lead to a further conversation. This could be, the way somebody's treating you. Last minute invitations doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me because it's disrespectful. Again, it depends on the level of relationship you have with a person. Some people it's like it's close friend. Hey, I know it's last minute. Can you do this? Sure. But like with other people, it's really not it doesn't feel genuine. So that doesn't work for me. That behavior doesn't work for me. That time doesn't work for me. That that situation doesn't work for me. So just some different ways that you can say no, that you can set boundaries that are firm, A big thing too, I think is to that you stay calm. The more calm and collected you are with the no thank you, with the doesn't work for me, with the I'm not available, helps you maintain control. So boundaries important, healthy boundaries are important, and it is something to look at. It was 5 or 6 years ago that I posted on Instagram as a little meme, no is a complete sentence. And I just don't, that is that's there's an example of my growth and evolution. I would no longer post something like that or say something like that. And the reality is, there were very few times that I just said no because it's really not a complete sentence. But no, thank you. That doesn't work for me. I'm not available. Kind, firm, powerful. You've got this.